and thank you so much for tuning in to the Boss Babes here tonight. We have a very special guest coming on in a little bit. But Brittany, I know that we've had a lot going on in news this week. Whoa, fill me in.
Yes, so much has been happening in and around the world. I'm so excited that you are back here joining us today. And before we jump on into it, I just want to let you guys know that Emma and we started this show back last summer of 2019. And now currently our show is both on Spotify and iTunes. So you guys should go and subscribe to us. We would absolutely love that. You can listen to us at work, on your car ride, wherever. So you can live stream, watch us, and also listen to us on Spotify. Please subscribe. We want to first start off the show by talking all about the breaking news, of course, with Rob Gronkowski. So who would have thought that he would be coming out of retirement? Emma, let's hear from your mouth, because I know that we absolutely love the Gronkowski brothers. We've had them in studio before. What were your thoughts when you found out about Rob coming out of retirement?
You know, what's crazy is that for a while, everyone was saying, oh, no, he's not coming out. And it seemed like that for a little bit. But everyone kind of speculated about it. And eventually, when it came out that he came out, everyone was like, well, I mean, you know, he's going to have to come back to the Patriots, right? That's where his home is. That's where he's always loved to be. But I'm not that surprised that he chose to go with Tom. Obviously, if there's anyone that can bring him out, it's going to be one of his best friends. I mean, think about it. If anyone is to retire in their field and their best friend asks them to come back, you'd probably do it for the right circumstance, right? The right amount of money, the right circumstance. Why would he not want to go and play and enjoy Florida? So I thought it was really, at first it was very shocking, but by the same card, it made a lot of sense. So it wasn't like it could be, I know I'm sounding very contradictory. It was a surprise that he came out of retirement, but not a surprise that if he did, he'd go with Tom. Put it that way.
I think it's super interesting that you say that. And I remember texting you being like, oh my God, Emma, I can't believe Rob just came out of retirement. What do you think about this? I can't wait to talk about it on Boss Babes on Monday. And it's funny because my dad happened to walk in my bedroom. He goes, Britt. I go, what? He goes, Rob just came out of retirement. And at that point, I'm thinking, there's no way this guy came out of retirement. He's super injured. His brother Gordy's been telling me that he would never come back playing football because he has so much at stake right now with different businesses and stadium blitz and all that. So I literally didn't think he was going to come back at all. And even Camille used to joke around and say that she didn't think he was going to come back, which is Camille Kosick is his girlfriend. So when my dad said, Britt, he just came out of retirement, I literally didn't believe him. I thought he was April Fool's joking me, but congrats to him coming out of retirement. I'm super excited to see what both him and Tom Brady do down in Tampa Bay. I'm hoping that football season does actually kick off because I cannot wait to go watch them down in Tampa. I'm waiting for the schedule to come out so I can buy tickets. And aside from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL draft. We'll keep it really brief, but I thought it was super cute. You're a dog lover, Emma. I'm assuming that you probably didn't watch any of the NFL draft. It is kind of boring, but it was kind of interesting this year. They did it virtually. So what they did was they had cameras set up in everybody's houses, and Roger Goodell actually did it from his home, which was super interesting, in his little mini man cave. What I found interesting was that when they would show the shot of Bill Belichick, they had his dog, his name happened to be Nike. His little dog Nike was sitting in the seat doing the drafting for us, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And what I'm excited about is that he drafted a couple tight ends. Obviously, we've been lacking in that department for the last season or two, so I'm super excited to see what we can do with the new rebuilding of the team. What did you think about Nike drafting last weekend?
That was so cute, and I feel like that's the kind of livelihood and entertainment that it needed, and even my husband was talking about it because I just kind of looked briefly, of course, but he was talking about it. He goes, you know, all these people are showing these, you know, mega rich people on their yachts and in their big glamorous homes, and then there's just Nike sitting in the dining room, just doing it. And he was like, this is so New England. This is so Belichick. And it's funny because he actually was, from what I understand, he was at his house in Nantucket, which I think is a great place to quarantine. And, you know, a lot of people have talked about, you know, traveling and quarantining. And I think it's interesting that different people have chosen different places. The most important thing I think about that is making sure that if you are going to go to those places, making sure that those areas have the resources to support you, or that you have a way to bring them in. So I was talking to my husband and I was like, well, babe, you know, what do you think he'd do? Think about it. You have all that money and you're on an island. Would you be raiding the grocery stores? Would you be, going and grabbing those products off the shelves? Would you be, out there kind of taking away resources from the community? And he goes, no, of course it's Belichick. He's going to have those things brought in. He's going to have them sent to him. Of course he's a responsible guy and he's doing things the right way. So I loved hearing that even more, that, if you're going to pick a place to go quarantine and to do the draft, you're going to pick a place where, yes, you can be isolated. Yes, it's your favorite place to be. Yes, it's safe. And yes, you're being considerate of the community. Made me love him even more in a time where I think New Englanders are very sensitive because, it's a challenge losing both Brady and Gronk to go to Tampa. I think it's a sensitive time. So it's good to see that we still have leadership that's very considerate of their community and keeps it lighthearted, brings the dog in.
I love that. He definitely did keep it very lighthearted, and I enjoyed watching Nike up there. And the reason why we're talking about Nike, the draft, the NFL draft, coming out of retirement, we're going to be talking a lot about baseball and basketball tonight. The main reason why we're going to be talking about basketball is our special guest is actually drafted. She recently just got drafted in the WNBA, and we're going to be talking about that very shortly. But first, I want to pop up this photo of Jason Tatum. The reason why we're showing this photo of Jason Tatum is I wanted to discuss the Celtics a little bit because not only did Marcus Smart recently, last week, donate over 400 meals to hospitals in the Boston area due to COVID-19 while he's being quarantined out in Texas, because I believe he's from Texas. But right now, they're all trying to figure out when is the WNBA starting? When is the NBA coming back? They were trying to say that teams were supposed to start practicing May 1st, but now they're pushing it back until May 8th. As we all know, all the sports are kind of at a halt, just like most of the world is. And I kind of wanted to gauge your perspective, Emma. How cool is that Marcus Smart happened to give away over 400 meals? I know you're really into the charity and the giving back. The fact that he gave away meals to these hospitals in Boston is super cool.
I love that he did that. And that's something that you're going to see a lot of from different athletes and different people in the community, just plain stepping up. I mean, I had a phone call with somebody this morning that noticed a need in her community, and I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But, you're going to see that everywhere. People stepping up, people seeing needs. I think people are at this position where they have more time to sit around and think, and they have more resources to give when you're not going out all the time. It's amazing the amount of money you can save, let me tell you. So I think it's great that that he's being able to step up and give back just out of the generosity of his own heart. I think that speaks very well to the Boston spirit and just, who we are as a team and who he is as an individual. I think it speaks to his character to do something so generous like that. So I love it. And I think that we need more of that in this world.
I completely agree with you. And speaking of staying healthy and eating properly, we have this really cool new ad that I wanted to show you guys. It's from the company Awaken 180, and they're all about weight loss, staying fit, and staying healthy. And I feel like you guys will totally enjoy this product.
As I told you on Twitter, I'm finally doing something about my weight and my health. I found a solution for weight loss, and it's Awaken 180. My friends in the media told me about Awaken 180. It's their go-to program to lose weight without killing yourself in the gym or taking any kind of medication. Just listen to the success stories. My boy Kyle Draper, he dropped 30 pounds. Andy Grish dropped 105. And that's not it. Scott Zolak, Steve Logan, Dan Reeves, Dr. Laura Carmen, and add Cedric Maxwell to the list. It's only been about 3 weeks and I've already dropped about 15 pounds. Turn these trying times into a reason to get healthy like me. Call Awaken. Receive the same one-on-one coaching I'm getting at home or on Skype. Also access 1,000 recipes and tools you'll need to ensure weight loss from the company who has revolutionized the weight loss industry. Set up your first consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoy that and hope you can stay fit and healthy while being quarantined. And the other reason why I wanted to show that cool ad is Cedric Maxwell actually VO'd that whole commercial for you guys, and he actually used to be involved with the Boston Celtics, which is pretty awesome. And last but not least, before we jump into our special guest, I want to show this really great photo of Michael Jordan. Obviously, Jumpman is a legend. Everybody knows who this guy is. Even if you're not a basketball fan, you know who Michael Jordan is. And Emma, I don't know if you and your husband have been watching the Last Dance documentary, but I've watched the last 4 episodes. I've absolutely loved it. Over the weekend, actually last night, because on Sundays they air it, they were talking all about Dennis Rodman and the Pistons, and basically it just outlines everything about the early 1990s Chicago Bulls and how much of a dynasty they were. Almost comparable to the New England Patriots, how they just dominated that era, and their team is forever going to live and go down in history. Like, no one will ever forget that team, especially if you are a basketball fan. Have you watched any of the Last Dance documentary?
You know, I have seen parts of it just here and there on little clips on social media. I haven't watched the full thing yet, but it sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and I think it's great that it's out there.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I wanted to show this because we've been talking all about basketball, and the main reason why we are talking about it is we're going to jump right head first into Lauren Manis. She's our special guest tonight. I'm super excited and honored to have her. She was taken in the 3rd round of the WNBA draft, selected 33rd, and what I think is super cute about the whole situation, her and I were on the phone, and she was telling me that she was so nervous to watch the draft. She was flipping back and forth from watching the draft and watching the Food Network with her family, that she didn't know if she was going to get picked or not. So, Lauren, welcome. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm good. How are you?
So good. We're so excited to have you, and kind of walk us through the steps of you being so nervous to find out if you were drafted or not, that you were kind of flipping back and forth, sitting down with your mom and dad, trying to decide, should I bother watching the draft or should I just continue watching the Food Network?
Yeah, so I honestly still don't even know how the draft works, and I wasn't sure if someone was going to reach out to me in the days leading up to it, and I didn't hear anything, so I really wasn't thinking about it, and I didn't want to get my hopes up. But I spoke to my agent the day before, and he said there's a slight chance. I'm working on it. So then I had it in the back of my head, and I was like, oh gosh, there is a chance. I didn't even know that. So when we went in Friday night to watch it, my dad was so excited. He wanted to watch it. He loves basketball, loves watching it, loves going to my games. He's the one always rebounding for me out in the cul-de-sac. But so he put it on, and I was just too nervous to watch it, and I didn't want to watch the whole thing and get disappointed and watch all these girls live out my dreams. So towards the 2nd round, I said, Dad, just put on the Food Network because I can't watch this. And then I got a call from my coach, and she was screaming, and there were people in the background screaming. And she said, Lauren Manis, are you watching this? I said, no. And she said, your name's on my TV. Oh my gosh. So then I'm shaking. My dad got the clicker, turned on ESPN. I saw my name and just fell to the floor. And it really was a dream come true. I was bawling my eyes out. My parents were crying. It was a really special moment. And then to be home with them for it, I think was even more special. I wasn't supposed to be home. And it's kind of sucks that I wasn't at school, but so nice that I was with them for it.
How have you guys been celebrating this? I was reading some media online about sort of how you've been getting celebrated, and it says that people have been driving by in cop cars and honking their horns and decorating cars and stuff like that. What has that whole experience been like for you so far? Finding out that you're newly drafted, you're probably going to be going out to Vegas sooner than later, and how excited are you?
I'm beyond excited. I can't wait to get out there and just learn from the players, and then Coach Lambier, which is funny. He's actually on the documentary you were talking about, and it's funny to see him play. But my sister and my cousin actually threw a parade the Sunday after the draft, and it was so nice to see everyone. There were so many cars, so many family members and friends from high school, girls I grew up playing with, and it was weird because I wanted to just run out there and hug everyone, and I couldn't. And that was also the first time in quarantine that I've seen that many people at the same time. So it was definitely weird, but just to see everyone supporting me and being truly happy for me is just so special, and their support means the world.
I think that's absolutely incredible. And I also wanted to ask you sort of what your feeling was like when your father basically said, oh my God, you're drafted. And you basically started crying, correct?
Yeah, it was, I don't even know if I can explain it well. I just immediately started bawling my eyes out. And then to look at him and see him crying, like he does not cry. So
and you're only the second person in our area that has been selected for the WNBA, which is amazing. And you're the first player from Holy Cross to ever be drafted. So that's also another big feat.
Yeah, it means so much, especially coming from Patriot League school. I mean, we're not really considered a athletic powerhouse. We're not a Power 5, but I think Holy Cross has prepared me really well. So I'm excited to see what the future.
Let's talk about some of that preparation from Holy Cross. Can you talk about your years and the experience that you built from being there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think Holy Cross is a great place. Both athletically and academically. It was not an easy school, but I think it really prepared me for, life after college and after basketball. And, athletically too, we played some really great teams. We played Illinois this year. We actually lost to them in overtime by 3. And then we played BC and beat them this year. So we do play really good competition. And I think playing at Holy Cross really helped me develop as a player because I started nearly every game. I got the experience that I needed, and then I also drew a lot of attention over the years. So every single year I had to add something new to my game just to get around the defense. I mean, they would double and triple team me, so I needed to learn new moves and acquire the guard skills as well as the post skills. So I think being at Holy Cross really helped me.
And what was your team environment like when you were at Holy Cross? What was your relationship with these women that you spent so very much time with there?
That's the biggest reason I stayed at Holy Cross. I said this in a story I actually wrote. It's on goholycross.com. But my first 2 years, I was debating transferring, just to take a step up, go higher D1. But the thing that kept me there was my friends and the relationships I built with people. I mean, I don't think I had a bad relationship with one of the girls on the team. We rarely ever fought. We spent literally 24/7 together, and I consider them my sisters. So just a really great group of girls, and I miss them so much right now. It's been really tough without them, especially my fellow seniors. The senior activities are missing, but everyone's saying they're going to make a trip out to Vegas, so I can't wait to see them soon.
And I hear you have a lethal 3-point shot. In some of your accomplishments, you just recently surpassed 2,000 points and you have over 1,000 rebounds. And what I think is super interesting is even out of the men's division, you're one of the only people that has an accomplishment like that. So how does that make you feel to be such a standout athlete at Holy Cross?
I think looking back, I'm very proud of my accomplishments. I know, they wouldn't be possible without my teammates and then without the support from my friends and family and my parents. So I think I'm not really the type of person that in the moment, I don't think about the awards and the accolades, but especially now being able to take the time and look back, I do think it's something to be proud of. And I know a lot of hard work went into it, so it's definitely nice to have those accolades.
And with COVID-19 going on right now, being quarantined, how is your training being impacted? I know you and I were speaking on the phone a few days ago, and you were sort of telling me that it's hard to get to a gym, it's hard for you to train, you sort of don't know when you're going to be leaving for Vegas. And then also, I just recently found out that your family works in healthcare. So I want to touch upon the fact that I believe your mom and your sister are in healthcare, and also what is it like training being stuck inside for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very weird time. I think the first few weeks I was home, I didn't have access to any weights or gym equipment. I just got some last week. Thank God. It's been so helpful, but I didn't have gym access for the first few weeks, so you never know what you're going to get in Massachusetts. It could be snowing one day and 65 the next. And so windy, which is not good for your shot. So that was definitely weird. I had to get creative. A lot of band work, a lot of runs in the rain, which was very pleasant. But this last week, I actually got gym access. My trainer in Boston is going to help me out and open the gym up for me. So I'm getting workouts in there. And then my uncle, who was a star track athlete, has this awesome at-home gym set. So he actually let me borrow that. So now I have a bench and barbell and lots of weights. So I've been lifting in my garage. My mom gave up her spot in the garage for me. So that's been really helpful. But yeah, both my mom and my sister are in the healthcare industry. So my sister's a nurse at Mass Gen and my mom's a physical therapist. So people still need her, and they're both exposed or could be exposed. So I think they're a little worried, especially possibly bringing it back to me or my dad. But they take all the necessary precautions, and they're rock stars, both of them. I look up to them so much.
And I know Emma's been writing a lot of charity blogs, very much helpful to the Boston area. Emma, can you describe to Lauren sort of what you've been writing about as far as like using the different masks and helping protect people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure her family knows a million times more about it than I do. they're in it every single day, and they're going through it. So thank you to them. I mean, times a million being on the front lines. I can't imagine what your sister sees every day and goes through. The only thing that I've worked with really charity wise, there are of course a couple of other injuries coming up this week. But one person I did speak to does headbands for heroes. So if anyone out there is looking to get a headband for a hero, just like your sister, that's something that you can do. It basically, what it does is it has little buttons on the back so it can hold the mask back. That way their ears don't get irritated and raw at the end of the day. But that's something that I've been just working on and if anybody else out there knows of a way that we can help these responders that are on the front lines dealing with this in ways that, like I said, we can never, ever imagine, please feel free to let us know. We would love to be able to help in any way we can. If there are charities out there that can donate back to them, any kind of equipment that they could need, anything that we could do, please bring that forward.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because Emma's doing an excellent job while being in quarantine, talking to different people about raising money and giving back to the community, and we're going to talk all about that in the second half of the show. But I just wanted her to mention the most recent story that she did, because it sort of goes along with your family. And I want to tap into the fact that you're not a Boston fan, even though you grew up in the Boston area. You are a New York sports fan, girl. So show me this personality a little bit. Your dad loves New York sports. So how is it growing up in the Boston area, but literally being a full-blown New York sports athlete?
Oh my gosh, it has not been easy. I remember being a kid and we would go down the street to get bagels on Sunday mornings. My dad would be wearing like a Jets hat or a Yankees hat, and people would heckle him. And I'm like, Daddy, like, why don't they support you? And he's like, oh, honey, you'll see. So now I totally get it, because I can't go anywhere without someone making a comment about my clothes. I mean, I don't have any New England clothing. It's all New York sports gear. So it's been tough, but I've really stuck with it. My dad was pretty much in charge of raising us into the sports world. My mom took the back seat on that one, and he was successful in brainwashing us, is what people say. But I've loved every minute of it. I think I kind of like being the odd one out of all my friends, going to Yankees, Red Sox games, and just being decked out in Yankees gear. You get a lot of hate for it, but I kind of like it.
So now, wait a second. You said your mom took a back seat. Does she have any sports affiliations, or is she maybe not so into what your dad's into?
I mean, she is more neutral. She's not like a hardcore sports fan, but she is a New England sports fan. So when we go to games, she's the one in the Red Sox gear, and we're all Yankees. But she was born and raised in Norwood, so it makes sense. But yeah, she gave my dad power on this one.
I think that's super cute. So when you guys go out as a family, she's the only one singled out and the Red Sox gear, and you guys are all just sitting there rocking the Yankees stuff. I think that is so cute.
Yeah, it's so funny. Last year we went to a Yankees Red Sox game at Yankee Stadium, and we were right behind the Red Sox dugout. So every time they captured a batter on deck, we were right there, and you could see us, and it was just Yankees, 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 Red Sox. And we were in New York too, so she was the only one in that section, but she puts up with us, so.
And before we cut to a quick commercial break shortly, I want to know about your experience growing up in Franklin, Massachusetts, going to high school locally in the area. I think you went to high school in Attleboro, which isn't that far from where Emma and I actually used to work, or currently do work at WMCT in Marlboro. What's your experience like working or going to school actually in that area, and just growing up in Franklin, Mass?
I loved growing up in Franklin. I think I'm definitely going to come back. Wherever I go after this, I'll definitely come back. I just love the town, and honestly, the support system. Like I saw in the parade, so many of my friends from like 4th grade Metro West basketball came. And then I did go to a private school. I went to Bishop Bean. So leaving my friends in middle school was kind of hard, but I love that I kind of have two places now where I have friends and built relationships. And then I'm also a big family girl, so I think that's why I stayed so local for college. Being able to see my friends and family is super important to me, and the fact that my parents were able to come to pretty much every single game of mine just meant the world. So definitely a local girl. Don't really see myself leaving, and I just love the area.
Local girl going out to Sin City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get ready for it. But we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Lauren a little bit about her gender studies in college and sort of the difference in salaries between male and female athletes. And then Emma is going to dish all of her secrets and details on all of the awesome charities and blogs that she's been working on. And of course, we're going to hear from Lauren about how she's given back since she's been in college. We'll see you guys soon.
At Bad Martha, we believe in 3 things: great beer, getting bad, and doing good. Every sip of our premium craft beer is a reminder that there's a paradise out there where you can kick off your boat shoes, let your hair down, and leave it all behind. That paradise is Martha's Vineyard. And while there's a bit of bad in every drop of beer we brew, there's also a whole lot of good in every can or bottle we sell. That's because Bad Martha is built on a simple idea: community first. We're proud of our beer, but we're even more proud of the island that inspired it. So much that we built a second location, Bad Martha Falmouth. We hope you enjoy both just as much as we do, and join us on the island for an afternoon or in Falmouth for a slice of our homemade pizza. Bad Martha. Get bad, do good.
Rob Gronkowski here, ex-superstar in the game of football, and now I am in the business world. And today, I am proud to announce I am part owner with my brother of Ice Shaker. We're all about the grind. We are all about inspiring others to live a healthy lifestyle and be the best person you can be. And that's what Ice Shaker is all about. And that's what we are all about. And that's why we are here today. Because we are out there to live a purpose with joy, with passion, and to inspire optimal health. We are built on toughness. We are built on grinding. We are built on keeping your drink ice cold for more than 30 hours. Check us out. Proud brother, proud family member, iceshaker.com.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCanSTEM.
Herd Restaurant, conveniently located here in Metro Square, features locally sourced, delicious meals created by a multi-talented chef. Hurt satisfies even the most discerning palate. We love to welcome you to come to Hurt so you may eat, drink, and spend time together. Watch for specials on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds at Hurt on Main, and come visit soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Boss Babes. Joining me tonight is my gorgeous co-host, Emmalyn Reid. You guys have seen her. She's absolutely amazing, has her own charity vlog. We have Lauren Manis joining us. Recently, newly drafted 33rd in the WNBA. Sorry, I think I just cut out. Am I freezing, guys?
You're good.
I'm good. So Lauren is joining us today live. Super excited to have her. She just newly got drafted in the WNBA. She's from Franklin, Massachusetts. So excited to have her here. Before we jump in and start talking about charity, I want to hear from Lauren. I know she studied gender studies a little bit in college. So I want to hear sort of your thoughts on what it's like being a female athlete and a little bit about the differences in salaries between males and females. And I know recently you and I were on the phone and you discussed that the WWA just recently raised the salaries for females.
Yeah, so with my history major, we had to pick a concentration, and I picked gender studies. So with every single class I was in, there was some component, some aspect of gender studies. And for my kind of like final capstone thesis, I actually did women in the military and studied that. But as part of my presentation, I brought in, of course, female athletes and, you know, view from media, salary, stuff like that. So it's interesting to see, you know, how people view us and our emotion. And, you know, when we show emotion, we're out of control. And when guys show emotion, they're passionate. So that's definitely something I've focused on a lot. And to see the differences between salaries is remarkable. I think the highest paid NBA player gets around $40 million. The highest paid WNBA player, it's maybe 200,000, and then 500 max after, you know, all the endorsements and benefits and stuff. So, I mean, not bad, but still 40 million, that's a very big difference. And we don't really bring in that much money, don't have as many fans and stuff like that, but I think still to see the numbers side by side is shocking. And I know when I first saw it, and I recently found out how different the gap is this year, I was completely shocked.
You would think.
Yeah, I was definitely interested to hear your take on it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sometimes I feel like you guys are cutting out, but you're not cutting out. And going off of what we were just speaking about with the WNBA and the salaries, and you go to college for gender studies, how do you think learning about everything while in college is going to transition to your time out in Vegas playing as a professional female in a sport?
Yeah, I mean, I think with everything, being educated is so helpful. And I think because I studied gender studies and history, and I've kind of seen the themes that have gone on in athletics throughout the years, I think it's definitely going to give me more of a voice, or kind of push me to have a voice, you know, in union meetings and stuff like that, just to fight for our rights and, you know, bring the facts in. So I think that's going to be really helpful and beneficial for me and everyone.
Super exciting. And speaking of being beneficial, I want to switch on over to talking about charity. And Emmalyn has absolutely been dominating during quarantine, talking all about charity and bringing awareness to certain things. So I want her to take some time to talk about what she's been working on, and also the fact that her and I will be doing the social distance bash this weekend.
Thank you. You know, I'm really glad that you said that, because I keep seeing all of these stories come in front of me, and I almost feel as if some days I'm not keeping up with all of the goodness that is happening in the world, and I want to so badly just keep showing everybody like all of this great news that I keep finding, and I'm trying to get it out as quickly as possible. So I'm glad that you recognize that, because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting on all these stories, like how can I quickly get them out? It's crazy to see. So one of the stories that I am actually working on for tomorrow, which you guys will see if you watch my blog tomorrow at 3 p.m., is a local, she's an artist on the Cape, and she works within the apparel industry, but she works a lot with local artists from all across the board. So she wound up going to a local flower show here in Boston, and she noticed that, with everything closing down, she said, wow, this is, people's livelihood. There are a lot of artists that aren't able to make money any other way than through their passion. They built their business through their passion. How is it that they're going to survive through this? So she came up with a unique way to be able to give back. And her story literally just brought me to tears. It was incredible this morning. I think I cried 3 times on the phone with her. She's just such a genuine person. But not only that, there are so many other things that are happening and being canceled. So just like that flower show was canceled, there are a bunch of weddings that are being both canceled and postponed. So I've also spoken with a wedding planner. She actually was our wedding planner, and I just happened to notice a post where she was speaking to brides free of charge if their weddings were canceled or postponed. And that's the thing, is these two things are very different, and they seem very random when they're put next to each other. But when you look at the world as a whole, there are just so many of us going through so many different things that you can never fathom until they're actually placed in front of you. And I think all of these things that I've been hearing lately, just from, different friend groups and different people in different stages in life, have brought me to this point where I realized that there are a lot of us going through very unique situations. But regardless of where we are, what we're going through, the entire community is coming to give back in different ways, any way they can. And that, I think, is the most powerful thing. So please, keep paying attention to all of these great stories. I know we have the social distancing dash, which is going to be coming up. That is a very interesting one, because we're going to be working with, sticking to our theme here, being mostly sports oriented. We work with the Boston Bruins Foundation. David Ortiz Foundation is going to be involved in this as well. So there are a lot of different organizations coming together to raise money for the social distancing dash, which I think will be fun. If you're someone that likes to run, or maybe you're like, you know what, not running, just going to go for a walk, you can do that too. And you can just, do whatever feels best for you to get involved with it. So there's a lot going on and a lot of different ways to give.
I can't wait to do the social distance bash, because that's really the only thing we can do with all the bars and restaurants closed. I've been going on hikes almost every weekend with my dog, so I'm very excited to take part in this weekend. And Emma, I know you are as well. And I also wanted to pop up this photo of Tiffany's Giselle. She actually has her own bracelet line. The reason why I'm showing this is Tiffany actually reached out to both Emma and I. She sent us a really sweet DM on our company, the BosBabes Instagram, and said, hey guys, I love what you're doing. I love how you give back. I would love to send you guys some bracelets and do some cool posts on the fact that I'm actually donating proceeds to COVID-19. And my response to her was, you know what, honestly, please keep your bracelets. I don't want you to use materials on giving them to me. I would rather have you save those materials and give them to somebody that can benefit from them. However, I would love to share what you are doing and post on our social media. So if you guys have any great stories or want Emma and I to post, please feel free to send us a DM. Send Emma an email, send me an email. We love supporting all of you guys, and we love that you are supporting us. So please, somebody like Tiffany, Trisha from S Design, I know Emma's going to be working with her as well. She's also doing something similar where she also owns a jewelry company. She's giving money to COVID-19, people that are not able to raise money or work. So if you guys need help, please reach out to us. And I also wanted to show this photo of David Hosef. He's a local designer. He's good friends actually with Emma and I. We were actually supposed to cover his event back in April at Fenway Johnny's, but it got canceled due to COVID-19. And I wanted to show this because from day one, ever since COVID-19 started happening, he took all of his materials, and instead of making clothing and doing fashion, he immediately jumped into making masks to help people out. So I thought that was super special, and I wanted to show that. And while we are on the topic of charity, because you guys know we take you behind the scenes with your favorite sports entertainers, we love focusing on charity. So Lauren, I know you and I discussed on the phone that you've done a ton since you've been in college. So I want to touch upon that before the time wraps up. You tutored students at Holy Cross. You volunteered at soup kitchens. You used to read to little kids, which is so great. And one of my favorite things that you told me, you worked or you volunteered, you didn't work, you volunteered for something called Working for Worcester. And while you were there volunteering, you helped paint schools, build basketball courts, build playgrounds. So can you kind of walk us through everything that you did as far as mentoring, helping people while you were in college?
Yeah, Holy Cross was honestly really great at providing everyone opportunities to give back to the community. We had to do CBLs, which was basically just community-based learning. So I'm an ed minor. So I would have to go and tutor students at the local public schools, which I absolutely loved. And then we also had kids' days for our basketball games, and every single public school in the Worcester area would come, and it was so loud and so packed. But I think freshman year, that was the first moment I realized how much these kids looked up to us, and you know how much power we had to be positive influences for them. So I think that made me want to give back more, and I would just keep going back and tutoring kids, go in, read to them. They absolutely loved it. Being an athlete, you don't really think anything of it when you go into the school, but they literally think you walk on water, and they think you are so cool. So just being in that situation and having the opportunity to have a positive impact on these kids is something that I enjoyed so much. And then as a team, we would go to the soup kitchen, the local soup kitchen, at 6 a.m. and serve breakfast, and everyone loved it. And then working for Worcester, which was my favorite, we would have a day in the spring. It was called Build Day, and everyone would gather in the center of Worcester. Anyone in the Worcester area could volunteer, but a lot of athletic teams did. And every single team from Holy Cross, I'm pretty sure, volunteered, and we would get sent out to different sites. And whether it was cleaning up a park, painting a school, we built a basketball court one day, just cleaning out the ponds. It was so great to see everyone in the Worcester community come together, and it was so great to be a part of it and to see before and after pictures. And then we would get sent pictures of people enjoying either the park or the new playground at their school, or even kids walking through clean, freshly painted hallways. Seeing that after was just so rewarding, and something I'm so happy I was a part of. And I missed it this year.
Oh, that's so cute. But I'm sure once you go to Vegas, you're going to find all new ways to give back in that whole community as well, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm sure they provide so many opportunities just like Holy Cross did. And, you know, I love being in that situation to give back and having kids and everyone else look up to you. So I'm really excited to get out there and see what opportunities there are to give back.
I love that. And we wish you all the best of luck once you get out there. I know it's a crazy time and it seems like it's so far away, but it's going to be really amazing. That much more special once you do get there.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna
Before we wrap up here, do you have any special plans when you get out to Vegas? Have you ever been there before? And obviously you're not going to have that much downtime. You're out there to focus to be that athlete, but do you have any shows planned out that you want to go see, or any special bars or restaurants that you want to check out? I've never been to Vegas personally, but obviously it's wild. In your downtime, what do you want to hit first?
I definitely want to see what there is out there for food. Obviously, I'm a foodie. I was watching the Food Network when I got drafted, and so is my dad, and that's something we kind of do together. We watch these shows on the Food Network, and then we try to visit the places that we see. And so I'm sure he probably already has a list of restaurants for us to go to. And I know when training camp does happen, my parents are definitely going to come with me and just spend a week or two with me. So I definitely want to probably do a little restaurant hopping and just see what there is out there.
That's super exciting. Do you think your family's going to take the Yankees gear out to Vegas or what?
Oh, definitely.
But now we're going to have to start walking some of your shirts, right?
I know. I told my dad, you better not have any New York Liberty shirts. All aces from here on out.
Yay!
I think that's so exciting. And do you have any plans in the future to start some of your own charities or mentor other younger athletes? Like, I know that a lot of professional athletes, when they come home on their off season, they will coach kids or mentor them. Do you have any plans in the future to do something like that?
Yeah, I actually, every summer I work camps. I go to camps and I talk to the kids. So I think I've always kind of wanted to have my own camp, and I love coaching. So I think when I come back, whenever my basketball days are over, I'm definitely going to want to coach and maybe open up my own hoop clinic or my own camp. And I think that's probably going to be the most exciting way to give back.
Oh, that's amazing.
This is kind of a random question because I know we hit all the main points of this, but now we can show kind of like your personality a little bit. Emma and I will ask some interesting questions if Emma wants to think of some too, but who is your celebrity crush? Like, if you had the chance to go on a date with anybody, who would you go on a date with?
This is so tough. I think if you asked me a few years ago, it would definitely be like Chad Michael Murray, but now I think I love country. I think Chase Rice would be my celebrity crush.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
now,
a good one.
A fun question. What is in your suitcase as must-haves for Vegas? Like, okay, if you forget one thing, whatever, you can buy more of it, but what is your must-have, can't live without, going with you?
My pillow. I'm very weird about my pillow. I need a very specific pillow. I bring this thing with me everywhere. Every road trip, always have it with me. I actually have a little portable fan because I cannot sleep without a fan. And I need that thing. And then probably my self-tanner, which I could definitely get out there, but I always have that with me as well.
Okay, so what we're saying is this girl takes her sleep very seriously. 2 out of 3 items: pillow, fan.
And she likes to be tan. I like this girl.
Yep. You always have the Jergens with you.
What was your most interesting Christmas gift as a kid? Like, say you said to your mom, hey, Mom, I need this for Christmas. What was your most interesting and weird Christmas gift that you wanted as a child? Like, for me, super weird. Most kids wanted candy in their stocking. I wanted a freaking fruit basket.
That's funny. Oh, gosh. What was the one that really sticks out to me is I remember being really little and wanting a fake flip phone. And I didn't think I got it, and then it was in the back of the tree, and I saw it, and it came in a pack of 2, and I remember just sitting there, like, flipping it over and over again, thinking I was so cool. And I was like, look, Dad, look at how fast I can flip this open. I'm like, hello?
I love that. I love that we got to ask you some nice, random, quick, cute questions. We're about to wrap up right now. Emma likes to end the night with some positive pop. And please, guys, check us out on Spotify. Please subscribe. You can listen to all of our past episodes on Spotify. Emma, end the night with some positive pop.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to tell you guys for my unique present, because I can't keep this to myself and I just remembered it, mine was a Jerry Spice Girl, like the Barbie doll. Like, I had to have that one year. And I remember my parents looked everywhere for it, and they finally gave it to me in like a giant box. So I thought I got like a bike or a dollhouse or something. And when I opened it up, it was at like the bottom with all the peanuts, and I lost my mind. I was like, oh, I got the Jerry doll. I like lost it, ran around the house. It was my most important toy. But anyways, on to your positive pop. The positive pop for this week is going to be something that I've been hearing in a couple different places, and it's just like, get your mind right. This virus is doing a lot to a lot of people. I think it's sending us in different directions, putting us in situations that we normally wouldn't be in, and forcing us to look at them from a different perspective. But the number one thing to remember is that at some point it's going to end. And when it does, we need to have our minds right. We need to focus on ourselves and taking the time to better ourselves, but also to, take care of those that are around us in any way that we can. So I think getting your mind right, making sure that you clear out all those negative thoughts of, oh my gosh, it's never going to end. I'm never going to be able to do this again. I'm never going to be able to do that again. I'm not going to make it through XYZ. Like, clear that out of your head. At some point, all the dust is going to settle. Keep your mind right. Keep focused on what you can change and what you can focus on right now. Keep going in every way that you can, and just keep your mind healthy, whether it means an extra workout, an extra a couple minutes of yoga, for some people an extra glass of wine. Do whatever you have to do to keep your mind right during this crisis. It's a hard thing to do, but self-care is so important. And good news, we have the time for it, so take it.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Lauren, best of luck, and we will chat with you guys soon. Take care.
Bye, guys.